Welcome back to Mixed Machines. Today we're back in the garage waiting on parts for the Cougar, so we're going to be proceeding with the twin supercharger small block. So what we're going to be doing today is tearing it down and getting parts and everything ready to be ordered for this so we could rebuild it and then get it swapped in. So the main reason they're rebuilding is that this engine sat for a very long time, and unfortunately it was kind of open in the air, so it got a little bit of water in it. And you can see here, I'll show you. I can show you. You see a little bit rust in there on top of the valve. That one too. That's pretty much it. The other ones all look pretty rust free. This side's still kind of oily. Like that. I'm gonna have the full video of it being torn down. And we're gonna start with our adapter plate for both of our superchargers. So I'm gonna point you guys down a little more directly at the engine, and I'll pick you up, grab you, show you what's going on, and we're gonna tear it down. Let's start. Alright, so I got the supercharger adapters intake, our actual intake down to our valley. You can see our valley in here. It's quite dirty. It's got old chunky stuff in there. If you look down in here, alright, so you can see, trying to show you here, that's a lot worse on the intake side than the exhaust. It definitely had pretty much water, a lot of water in it. So we're hoping the cylinders aren't too bad or anything when you take it apart. It's either from, get some super crusty oil in here. It's either from sitting for a long time or, and since I'm doing a full tear down and rebuild, I'm just going to be using the impact to tear it down. Yeah, shut all the bolts off, all their nuts off. And then to help me keep me organized and everything, I have these red little trays over here. So front, right, like I line them all up each side. This one's for rockers, everything. That one's for valves and everything. Well, he comes with a gasket. Oh yeah, good luck. Another small holder, plug solid. This one was 2 by whacked it, I can't unplug. Does seem definitely have some smog issues. Alright, right, where you? Pulling the sensor off. So it's just not sticking out anywhere and don't have to worry about whacking it and breaking it. I'll be most likely buying a new one anyway, so. All right. Alright, so when you see me take it off, I took it off in a circular pattern. I just do that because I like to. You don't have to when you're taking heads off, but when you're putting heads on, that's a very critical thing to do. So you make sure you have an even bolt pattern and surface pressure. But with that, let me pull my bolts out now. As you see, they are different sizes, so make sure you know what one went to what hole. Now, the head is ready to come off. It only has 2 dowels holding it on. Missed one. Alright, so all my bolts are off. My head is ready to come off. And it still has 2 dowels holding it on, so it won't slide down. So you gotta pull it off. And in my experiences, they don't exactly pull off the easiest. So using my hammer, I'm gonna tap the sides of it. That was really stuck on there. There it goes. So I just get a little taps on the side. It helps loosen up a little bit. And you see at the pry bar, I was able to pry it off. Now I just kind of wiggle it as I'm lifting up on both sides. Both sides are now loose. And out of the dowel pins. So I'm going to set the head on the table over there so we can pull the valves and everything out of it. Alright, so we got the first head off. As you can see, it's not so bueno. Got heavy rust damage in here on this cylinder all the way around. This cylinder here, we got real red rust damage in the bottom there and little pockets up top and all the way around. This one just up here in the top that we can see so far, there's the pistons there. That you can see quite damaged in there. This one actually looks pretty good. This one, the valves must have been closed, so it's not too bad looking. Always be gentle with your old head gaskets because you can reuse them. Especially the parts where you see it's rusted out in there. Completely getting out on the bottom. Definitely reusable. Which, these look like they were blown or anything? No, they don't look like it, but they're definitely on their way. I was kidding, by the way. Don't you reuse head gaskets. Your lifters, these are hydraulic. So a magnet is the best to use to pull these things out. This one's pretty wore. Ooh. This right here is what you do not want to see. See that pitting? All the flat surface is pretty much gone on it. It's not really worn down, so I'm taking a guess as this cam's not doing too good. Once we pull that out, we'll see for sure. But this is not what you want to see on a lifter. Time to get a new lifter. And probably a new cam. See, this one's actually fairly new. See how flat it is? There, lifter. It's a good looking lifter. This one came right out. Yep, see, this one too. It's got real bad wear on it. Not looking good. This one looks good. Not real wear like the other. Like the first two you saw, they had a nice curve in it. Those two were pretty worn out. This one here, nice smooth, good edge. That's a better looking lifter. So this just side, we have 3 lifters that are absolute junk. You're replacing them no matter what. You have 2 lifters that have excessive wear. Here. If I go to our little rack right here, you know, so we got the cylinder 1, good, garbage. Cylinder 2, or cylinder 3, good, garbage. Cylinder 4, cylinder 5, good, garbage. And cylinder 7, excessive wear, excessive wear. So, use at your own risk. This side's done. Now we move on to the other side. In order to get that side all torn down. What's that one here? That's that. Alright. Turn over to this side. This side over there. You know what's in here? Ooh, here's glue. That's good. See? Okay, so this one. Right there. This one too. Right there. Alright. One more. Hands back in. There. You want hands. Alright. Flip this. Check all this. These look good. That one's good. And over here. Still good. Oh, that's a blue one. This one's new. See, that's how. This one's got a deep in here. That's a blue one. That's a green. That's a green too. Alright. So, this is all there. Now, go on, that's everything. Okay, so you see, just took off the oil pan, the timing cover, the harmonic balancer. It's shown here that the timing gear chain is terribly loose. That's no good and stretched out over time, so this engine was definitely worn out. So, you'll pull off the cam gear and timing chain. And I'm going to show you the cam gear after that. The cam. Alright, so you just still pull out the cam. Now the cam was a little hard to pull out, it didn't come out as smoothly as you saw in the video because I forgot to pull out the fuel rod for the fuel pump. But anyways, I'm going to show you the cam here. You show the lobe on this cam is completely flat. It's just a normal circle, so this cam is definitely garbage. So it's pointing out that it's gone, you know. should have a pointed out nub, and so yeah, the cam's no good. We'll continue on. Got the cam out, got everything all out, got the heads off, so now we're ready to pull the pistons out. So I'm going to flip the engine over on the, so we get to the bottom side. After I've done that, you can see I'm going to take apart the oil pump first to check. I'm going to take it, look at the gears, make sure I'm going to put it all back together. Just take it out as one big piece. And then after that, we're going to be pulling out the pistons. Alright, and we're back with sound. Sorry about that. I didn't see that the mic died. Alright, so I got all the pistons pulled out. My crank still turns pretty smoothly. Doesn't feel like there's any major damage or anything there. But I'm still going to pull them off and check all the bearings, pull this crank out, really look at it, and I'm going to set it back in to hold it there because I don't really have a place to put it. Other than that, you saw I pulled out all of my pistons and connecting rods. There's one that has a stiff wrist, and there's one that has a broken piston ring. But other than that, they actually all feel and look pretty good. But some of the crank bearings to the pistons, concord bearings, look a little damaged on the piston side. So either it got really hot. So if you look at this one here, this is my cap. See here, it's got that heat spot there. Same with my piston, it's real worn out. It's got that heat spot on this side, so definitely looked like it might have been low on oil one time and they just barely caught it, luckily enough, and that's how a lot of them look. But my crank looks okay, which is the main part. I still have to measure it, make sure. Other than that, you know, And same on my piston side, it's got a little wear on the inside looking there. And my bearing seems pretty worn out. This engine was definitely getting ready to go. So with that, I'm going to pull out my still has oil in it, that's good. And you can see it's got normal wear grooves in there, so they actually look pretty good. Same, looks good, no excessive wear. This one here, you can see it's got some wear. On the inside, it's a little excessive. And on this side here, it's also got some little groove there. And you can see how the discoloration there. And the discoloration in there. It's got a little bit more wear than it should have. Yep. And there you go. That's a fully torn down 350. Okay, so just got the engine all apart, got all torn apart. I showed you everything that was wrong with it. You know, the damage in the cylinders, the cam, the lifters. And now it's the turn to tear down our heads. So we're going to be pulling the valves out of them, so you get it all cleaned up after and clean again, because chunky stuff is no good, especially when it's like that. But in order to do that, you got to pull the valves out, which are these right here. So these are your valves here, valve springs, cap, retainer clips in here. And this solid piece right here is your valve stem, the top of it at least. So how you take this out is you compress the spring, then you got the two little wedge pieces in there. You pull those out and then it all comes sliding apart. Real easy, real simple to do, especially if you have the correct tools to do it. If you don't, it's a pain. So to do it, we flip it up like this. This here is a spring compressor. It's the old Craftsman brand. It was my dad's, so it's probably as old or older than me. Not too sure, but it works quite simply. See, the spring is compressed here. This one's not compressed. This one is. It's got that in the stem cap there sticking out. Now I can pull off the retainer pieces, just like that. So you see, this is teeth inside. Has a crank here. You crank it, it pushes in. This back here pushes on the bottom of the valve. So there's the stem. There's the actual valve seat area back here. That compresses the spring down. It holds the valve in place against the head. And this is a little locking in mechanism right there that holds it in place once you compress it. Turn the handle some, you release it. Alright, so once it pops off, should just slide right out, but these ones are quite stuck together. It's been sitting for a very long time. So, you have your cap, spring cap, your spring. This one here is the exhaust valve. It's smaller, little teeny exhaust valve. But that's all it takes to take your valves out once you have the head off. Alright, so this is one head all done. So you can see I got all the valves out. See how the seats look. This one's a little, they don't look too bad, or these, but this one here, definitely this one here also. This one's starting to go too. No, they definitely, yeah, this one's pretty bad also. It's hard to really show on the camera, but yeah, definitely need some cleaning up. I'm gonna have to get me a tub and scrub them down. Alright, but you saw those taken apart. I was giving the valves a little tap with a hammer because they were just super stuck. They did not want to move. Once I took their retainers out, they still did not want to come out because I had a second lip that was full of debris and holding it up. But once I finally got it cleaned out, they came out apart. Off, and the other ones, well, the one I see I had to put the clamp back on and clean it out manually. Other than that, that's one head done. Alright, so the last two valves, I'm going to give you a different view here in the bottom so you can actually see it compressing. You can see it compressed. Here's my two keepers. They pop right off. Just like that. Again, alright, so my spring compressor's on there, it's binding up, so it's a little stuck. Give it a little tap. Voila. Take off the keepers. This one has the crusty old thing right back here. Take that off. Voila. Right, so once they're off, you just push the valve to the bottom. Push it up. And voila. Pull your valve out. This one doesn't want to go. Alright, so you see in there? Got some nasty. Got some water in it. This side, our valve seats actually look pretty good. See how they're all still nice and shiny and sharp. So they're not too bad. Yeah. So this is our other head. It's all done. Got it all apart. So the last thing I wanted to show before I end the episode here, after I finished tearing down the engine and showing you what's wrong with it, the cams and cam lifters. The cam is bad, the lifters are bad. Yeah, full of rust. Gotta clean it all out, get it all cleaned up. Get it all cleaned up again. Back to its former glory. Last thing I want to show you, so this here, get closer so you can actually see. Looks normal. Now this one here. This one is out of my 1990. It's also a 350, my Suburban. When it overheated, it bent the valve. You can barely see it, where it's bent right here. As you look at this one. So you're looking at them. You can see this one, it's kind of sticking up out to the left, where this one's sticking straight up. So this is a slightly bent valve, and that's another thing you're looking for. There are bent valves. This engine didn't have any, so we're good. Like I said, this is out of my my 90 Suburban. So that was the last thing I wanted to show you. What a slightly bent valve looks like compared to a normal valve. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my little teardown of a very old and crusty engine that hasn't been ran in a while and sat in the back of a pickup for probably 5-6 years. As time flies, you're having fun. Other than that, next episode I'm going to be getting everything cleaned up. I'm going to be measuring everything out so we get parts and everything for it. And then once I get parts for it and everything, I'm going to be building it. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, please like, subscribe, leave a comment. That helps me out greatly and I appreciate it. So thank you for watching and hope you enjoyed.